What is happening to YouTube? Blair McKeithen here, representing the movement towards improvement for one of the final few times, because I am now representing Formula Golf, my very own channel. To those of you who haven't already checked out the page, every 1,000 subscribers we have on Formula Golf, I'll be giving out 3 dozen TaylorMade TP5 or TP5X golf balls, or your choice of a brand new TaylorMade wedge. And that is not all. I'm going to be giving out every 3 months a full set of brand new custom TaylorMade irons, or a full set of brand new custom TaylorMade woods. Be sure to click on the link below to Formula Golf for your chance at winning brand new equipment. Come join Formula Golf, where we are restructuring the very DNA of how we play, practice, and most importantly, compete. Until then, the movement is always in motion. Enjoy this next video. Okay, here is the first hole at East Bay Golf Course. First tee shot, round 1. Provo Open 2017. I'm a little nervous going to this tee shot here. I was hitting it really well on the range, which was fantastic. So my last few, at the end of my range session on this particular tournament, I basically mimicked this first drive, envisioned it. So I was a little nervous, but I felt pretty confident that I'd be able to narrow my focus on my line here. So picked out a spot, and I actually ripped that thing. I think I ended up hitting it right around the 355, 360 range, which was great. Obviously I'm in altitude, but it was weird though, because normally this hole's way downwind, and today it was actually into the wind. It got me really confused. So I had 188 to the pin and 168 to the front. So I hit an 8-iron thinking I'd be landing it at 175 and having it release since the green slopes front to back. So it was into the sun since it was a morning round. So when I hit it, I was like, "Ooh, that's right on my line," and I couldn't have hit it any better, more pure. So I was fully expecting to be pretty close over there. So getting to the green though, however, I find that I'm only about 10 feet on the green. I left myself with a 50-footer that goes downhill and then like back up the hill right to left. And it's one of those putts where if you missed it on the low side, it would continuously pick up speed. But nonetheless, it was an eagle putt. A nice little 2-putt would get me a nice solid start. It's really grinding over the length of this putt, like trying to get the speed right to lag it. I thought actually when I hit this putt, I was like, oh man, I gassed it. But walking up, I was actually 4 feet short, which really wasn't a bad leave. I ended up only having a 4-footer uphill right to left, and it was inside the hole. You can hit it pretty relatively firm if you really wanted to, but unfortunately, I left the blade wide open and pushed it. I started it on a little bit outside on accident, and then it caught a piece of the right edge there and started off with a 3-putt par. Just kind of a bummer. So hole 2, water down the left side and a bunker to the right at 273. So I hit a 2-iron here. The fairway, it looks a lot more narrow than it actually is, which can cause people to block it out right, but I just ripped my 2-iron. Nice little bullet draw down the middle here. Left myself 139 yards, and I hit a gap wedge. Not really even a full one, just a basic 3/4 gap wedge. The pin was in between a couple of ridges, so it was really crucial to be pin high. And when I hit it, I'm looking because it disappeared over the ridge. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a dime, but I was just only 3 feet above that ridge, which left me a pretty incredibly fast downhill putt. I got to see the speed from Saquon there, the gentleman in the navy shirt. So I got a really good view of how fast that putt was going to be. His went by, I think, 3 or 4 feet even. These greens were running 13. If not 13 the first day, definitely 13 the next day when it was windy for the second round. But let's just say these are At worst a 12, at fast a 13, at fastest there a 13. It's a really, there's some good greens, tell you what. So I had to be really tentative with this one. I couldn't risk, hitting it too hard. You'll see by how soft I hit. Right about here it looks really good, and then it loses speed and barely misses on the right. So that was a bummer, but it was nice to actually, after hitting such an egregiously bad 4-footer on the previous hole, to hit a nice solid confident putt there for hole 2. So even par through 2 holes. Now I go to a par 3 here. It's 183 yards, but the pin was in the front and it was playing 162 yards to the pin, so I hit a pitching wedge and absolutely pured it. I mean, I just took dead aim at it. Maybe a little 1-yard draw, just because if you missed it too far to the left, I didn't really want to aim towards the water that was to the left. There's water on 14 of the 18 holes out here, so my pitching wedge actually went pretty far. I left myself about a 15-footer dead down the hill. And like I said, these greens are really fast down the hill. I don't even know what the step is. I mean, lightning. But this was a confusing putt to me because it seems that a lot of times the putts don't break towards the water like you would expect. So I actually played for this thing to go right to left. I hit a really good putt. I hit it right on my line. It's supposed to be breaking right here, and then it stops breaking. It was brutal. But another good putt. Hit it by a couple feet. I marked it, lined it up. No point in getting careless, especially so early. So hole 4 is a 480-yard par 4. It doesn't play that far at all because it's a dogleg left, but there's hazard down the left and OB down the right. You just pick a spot in between those 2 telephone poles and just kind of rope a draw and be good. But in this particular shot, I blocked it out right, but roped it back. Ended up being just fine. I left myself longer in. I was 170 yards, and I hit a 9-iron here. Got through it okay. I just had the club face a little closed. I missed it on the long left, which is usually what happens when you miss it left. I left myself about a 40-footer, a really tough downhill slider. I knew when I hit it too hard. But right here, look, we had a chance of going in, and then it snapped off at the end and did not stop. So I hit every fairway and every green so far. So this was a pretty big putt to make. It would have hurt to be 1 over after what I felt like was a quality start. So I was really grinding over this putt here. It's about 8 feet. Hit the plate outside the hole for right to left. Hit it right on my line, and hey, a little weak little fist bump. Come on, Blair. Hole 4. But yeah, I was very happy that I made that putt. Hole 5 here is 442 yards. Water down the left. There's bunkers to the right. Just hit a 4-iron. Out in altitude, my 4-iron was going about 270, so I aimed down the left side, just cut it away from the hazard and just ripped it. And I left myself 110 yards. The pin was in the front, and it was 100 to cover the front of the green. And there's actually this pin was just above a ridge here. A little sawed-off 60-degree, and in the air, I thought this thing was going to be 2 feet away, but just landed a little bit left and bounced forward and got into like the middle part of that ridge, so at least I was putting up the hill. So again, here's another hole where it just doesn't want to break towards the water, so I was playing for that here. It was uphill, so I could be a little bit more aggressive. Good, pretty much until it missed, and it went by a good amount. It picked up a lot of speed. It was uphill, but it just kept going. So let myself a testy little 3.5, 4-footer here. Put a lot of focus on this one, and it was a good stroke. Even par through 5, hit every fairway and every green, and now I'm going to hole 6, which is a 434-yard par 4, water down the left again. There's a bunker 320 yards out, which is why I hit a 3-wood to just eliminate that. And I just ripped one down the right side of the fairway. The wind started picking up here, but it helped push it away from the water. The fairway's on the right over here. Unfortunately, I think I might have accidentally deleted my wedge shot into this hole. I had 110 yards again, and I hit a lob wedge, but there's a severe slope past this hole. I landed right what I thought was perfect, and it just released right on down. These greens get pretty firm, and the wind really takes away the spin. A pretty heavy breaker here of left to right, and I hit a very good putt again, and just into the right. Another 2-putt. The speed has been relatively good so far at this point today, so I just got to keep remaining patient. Now I go to hole 7. It's a 205-yard par 3. There's a lot of grass out there, and so the green just looks like it's just in the middle of this grass patch. There is water left, but it doesn't necessarily come into play unless you egregiously cook one. The pin was tucked over a ridge to the left, and just hit a little sawed-off cut 7-iron. I actually aimed at the pin and cut it away from it. Just if you miss it left and you're short-sighted out here, it's really difficult to get up and down with the greens being as firm as they are. But I left myself a nice little 17-footer or so. It was a tricky read. It was kind of a double breaker. And I hit it on my line. I just don't think I hit it hard enough. It was kind of got a little afraid there of gassing it by. Past the hole, it goes back downhill and slopes even more to the right. It's right on a spine there. But any time you're on a 205-yard par 3, especially this one with a really undulating green, take par and get out of there. So hole 8 here is 452 yards, par 4, water down the left again, bunker right, but I can carry the bunker with my 3-wood. The bunker's only 270. So I just took it right over that bunker, and I ripped it. It was a great swing. So here I have 139 yards again, and I'm hitting another gap wedge. This pin was just all, green light special, and so I actually landed this thing right by the pin, which was great, and then it spun back, and then I couldn't really see it because this green has a bunch of different ridges. You'll see it where my towel is, and you see it where Saquon is, but the hole is to the right up here. It's just a dead uphill putt. This was the one where I really felt like I've been hitting good putts all day, so I was like, this is going to be the one that I can make. It's the actual easy one I can be really aggressive on. And then I shoved it, which was right about now is when I started getting pretty frustrated with my putting because my ball striking was good. I've given myself a birdie opportunity on every single hole except for one, and left a lot out there so far. So I started getting a little more frustrated at this point, and shaking my head. So I'm still even par through 8. Going to hole 9, it's a par 5. Dogleg left, 580 yards. OB's left, but you'd have to really hook one to go out there, but it's easy to bail out right. And I just ripped a power draw down there. I ended up hitting it about 340, which was nice. Yeah, get a little smile there. So I have a 5-iron here. I'm 250 to the pin, but only 224 front. And here's an interesting thing here. Saquon, the gentleman in the Navy, was already on the green. He was a little bit farther back and hit like a hybrid in. Then I take my 5-iron, and I just catch it thin like a mofo. But thin to win always, right? And it starts rolling up, and I'm like, man, this thing's gonna be 10 feet away, and then it hits Saquon's ball that's in the front of the green, which is pretty unlucky. So we're both right next to each other, and I went from having a 10-footer chasing up the hill there to a 35, 40-footer with a lot of break. There's a huge ridge right there that I have to play on. And if I miss it to the right of that ridge, it'll fall off to the right. But I just gassed it. I hit it by about 9 feet. No, maybe not 9 feet. Probably about 7.5 feet. And then I have a really fast tickling left to righter. As you can see, the American flag out there is actually really dead the wind, which is very rare. And it was pretty crucial to take advantage of the good conditions in the morning. This was a big putt for me right there to finish off with. So Finished off at 1 under through 9 holes, and part 2 of round 1 will be coming soon. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to check out Formula Golf, and be sure to subscribe for a chance at monthly giveaways. And every 3 months, we'll be giving out golf clubs. Again, guys, thanks again for watching. The movement is always in motion.